Good morning, world. It's 6:30 something a.m. It's my first video on YouTube in years. Probably wondering why I look like I've got curtains and why I've got a beard, and it's all changed. It's all changed. Before, I was working for someone else. I now have my own hair studio. I now have done loads of shows and won a competition and travelled the country teaching people how to cut hair. A lot has changed, but today is one of the biggest days in my career, I'd say. Let me sit down, because I am teaching someone at my studio for the first time. Why this is big is because it's like my first private education day, like my first own one that isn't under another company, which is pretty sick. The bit that's even weirder for me is the guy's travelling from Ramsgate, which is like 2 hours away from me. So a guy's travelling 2 hours to come and spend a day with me and learning from me how to cut hair. That's just mental. Like, I used to dream about this stuff and now it's happening. So I thought I have to vlog it. I don't know, it's just like a moment for me. So I'm going to get showered, going to get myself ready, and then I'm going to head to the gym, get myself set for the day. I also want to save time later. I don't want to train after. I've got physio. What am I even talking about? I don't need to tell you all of this. I'm going to train, I'm going to set myself up, and then we're going to do this. Okay, so we made it. We are here at the studio. You can't see what it looks like right now, but quick pan. I'll give you a full tour in a second. I have been at the gym. I've trained. I was going to record my session, but self-consciousness kicked in. There was a few people in the gym, so that was a big no from me. For now, I'm not a fitness influencer. So yeah, let me give you a tour of this room so you can get an understanding of what I've been up to recently. It's nothing too crazy. Ignore my clothes there. I've got a little change of fit. You know, you got the chair. This was from eBay, which was pretty handy. Got a nice little shelf, mirror here. Here you can see me, hello. Chest of drawers. Just got my tools here. You can see my setup is very different. You can tell that I love this clipper here because it's all of the paint's coming off of it. This is my setup. It's a private studio. Little TV up there. A couple products that I use on clients, books, camera, sink, basic stuff. If there's one thing I massively regret in life, I think it's losing my self-confidence with YouTube. I have no idea what, when, how, where, whatever, why I lost self-confidence with it. To be honest, it was probably all the stupid content I was doing. I'm not even going to mention what that was. It would have been nice to document this whole journey. Instead, you kind of have to just trust what I'm saying of how I got here. But I spent 4 years building up a clientele at the shop you would see me in my previous videos that I've left up on the channel. So I spent like 4 years building up a clientele there. Not just a clientele, but like building a good foundation for the next chapter. Like Joe, the guy I was working with, he's an absolute saint. Like he corrected me when I was wrong, and not always did I agree, but later on I would come round and realise that I was being an immature little child. You know, that growth is really necessary if you want to take that next step. And then this opportunity just came up. It just came up through chance. So yeah, massively grateful. Shame I didn't record it. I can feel a sneeze coming on, which ain't great. But yeah, if you want me to do like more vlogs and sort of take you around my life more, leave a comment, leave a like, let me know, because I would like to do this stuff again. It's just I have zero confidence with it. I don't even know if anyone likes it or enjoys this kind of content. I watch like a few vloggy style videos now, and it's just sort of made me miss it. I feel like this is a big enough moment for me to have no choice but to vlog it, and now I'm rambling on for like 2 minutes. So I suppose I should cut this bit here. I will catch you next when I'm actually in the flow of teaching. You'll see a few clips of that, and then we'll go from there. I lied. I'm not in the flow of teaching, but you know, I just got changed. So I had to do a fit check. Obviously a fit check. So black ripped jeans, had these for years. My other jeans were wet because I didn't think ahead. Stupid. T-shirt, Primark tee with my logo on it. Got it done by some geezer in the town centre. Cost me way too much. But I made another t-shirt which is coming this week, which also cost me way too much. So, you know, branding is key. And then I've got some beat up J's on because these were like nice trainers, and then I started wearing them out and to work, and they've just become my beta trainers. It is what it is, but there's your fit check in case you was wondering. And then the next thing you will actually see is education, I promise. Sound. It's going pretty well. I had quite an established clientele anyway.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if they were going to follow, and then they did follow, and I was gassed, bro.
Yeah,
like, important too. So, plenty of notes. If you need me to repeat something, just ask. When I've taught in the past, they get a bit like shy. Mm-hmm. If you doubt yourself, don't slip in confidence, because confidence is the main key in this whole thing. Yeah. I write about it later in the presentation. When I was a teenager, when I was first starting out, I was a massive cocky arsehole. Like, I'll be real. Yeah. And as much as that's a bad feature to have as a person, it done me a massive favour in terms of like getting better at trimming. Yeah. Because if I was nervous in the first place, I would have like been worse.
Yeah, it's a confidence thing, like you said, like being arrogant and cocky. I suppose you're more confident. Yeah.
It's like the only time you can get away with it without being called out. You go 4, 2, you set your base. Yeah. So you know what your base is. Then you put your 0 line in, and you know the key is with that. If you try and put your 0 line in when there's hair there, you're gonna get like your 0 line's gonna be all over the place. Yeah, of course. So once your 0's in, you then put a 0.5 line just on one side of the head. Don't go all the way around, because you'll be chasing the fade. You'll be running around the head all the time. It's, you know, you need to focus on one area. Yeah. Once you put your 0.5 in, I personally find the bottom line is the hardest to get out. Yeah. So we focus on that first. So you go, if your 0.5 is here, 0.25 underneath that, and 0. Yeah. Gone. That the bottom line, no need to stress. Then if you look at this diagram, we've got between the 2 and the 0.5 to take out. So you go 1.5 just underneath the 2. What I would say is a 0.5 guard open is a good trick. Yeah. Because if you look at this, when you put this on a clipper and you open this and you close this, it's almost like this can get a bit deceiving, and you kind of stop at a lower point on the head. Yeah. So you're creating this little void. But if you put this on and you open it up, 0.5, add 0.5, 1. Yeah. It's just a slightly lower 1. But as long as you flick, it just goes. And you can also see more of what you're doing, I feel. So you do that just underneath where you did the 1.5, close this halfway, 0.75, and that should all marry together. Yeah, nice. And then you have a fade. It won't be perfect. Obviously there's colour differences on the head, things like that. But you have a better way to see where you're at, and then you can refine after that. Yeah. And you also know where you put what grades. So you can just jump in and, you know, take little lines out where you see them. You can see we've got that nice separation there. Clean. That's exactly what we want. Again, coming down, because this is where we're trying to retain a bit more length and weight, making sure that our fingers are triangular, lifting the hair up, see the guide, make the cut. Then we want to start getting tighter as we go down. So we pull out to where the last bit was cut, lift that up, see the hair, make the cut. Again, working further down, we're trying to get a bit tighter now. Lift that up. The tip of our fingers, we should have the shortest long point from the previous, and then we just work downwards from that. Making sense? Yeah. When cross-checking, people get confused and start cutting bits they don't need to, because they look at something like, you know, because I'm over-directing, you have to be aware that this in the middle is going to be a triangle. Yeah. Or that's how I'm hoping it is. Yeah. If I pull it out and cross-check it now and it's square, it's wrong. And I'll go, oh my god, no, that's well long, I need to cut that off. Yeah. But then I comb it this way, it's pretty flat.
So that's exactly
so you need to, when you're cross-checking, it's not
Remember
about
the
cutting
shape
things
you
off.
created,
Yeah, you need to keep in mind the shape you've created. Again, same with this side. Look, pretty flat. Pretty flat.
Yeah.
Because everything I've done is consistent. That little curl, see how it shrinks?
Yeah.
When it shrinks, it's sitting perfectly on the parietal ridge.
Yeah.
If I was to connect this, what's going to happen? It's going to start sitting like this.
Yeah,
It's triangular. It's going to sit shorter at this
Yeah.
point. Doesn't necessarily mean it's shorter. It just means that because it shrinks, it's sitting shorter. And that's something to consider, which, again, you know, your average 9 to 5 barber try and get people in and out won't look at. But if you're trying to be a stylist, which is what I would refer to myself as, those are the things I consider. Those are the things that allow me to increase my price. Those are the things that get me noticed when I'm out and about. You know, he's never going to comb his hair, do you know what I mean? But you can see how this all just fits in together. Still got a bit of the curl on the side, like it's all kind of working together. The main thing is when you're dealing with hair, and this is something I've actually learned very recently, you know, as I always say, like, you're always learning. I would comb the hair back and see how it's sitting. There's no point. Who's going to sit there with a comb at home and go, whoop? No one's doing that. Everyone just does this, roughs their hair up and goes. So that's why I started doing this. No matter what hairstyle, if it's sitting, if it's sitting forwards, I always do this, play around with it, see how it's sitting. If I can see, you know, if it's a skin fade, for example, and I rough the hair up, sometimes I might find a visible disconnection which I didn't want to be there. And then I can go, right, I need to deal with that now. Had I combed the hair and sat it perfectly, exactly how I want it, I never would have found that. So, you know, by being like this, you just find little imperfections, or, you know, you make the hair sit how it should sit. And then, because of how this was sitting, remember at the start, when I saw these bits, so now I'm going to move around with the shape of the head, so I'm going to keep stepping this way, so I can deal with this. So, take a small step to my left, I'm going to pull down, I've got my longest short point here, so I'm going to follow on from there. And notice how I'm just using the tip of my scissor to affect the length of the fringe. I don't want to come like this, it's too blunt. I just want to point cut everything. Now take another step. Shortest long point again, or longest short point, sorry. Deal with that. And you can literally see the area that was the problem. As I'm travelling round, you see how it's getting longer. That's not ideal. Then, see that? You can just meet those 2 points now. So, comb just the bottom portion of this down, where I know I sort of want to taper this, and where I know my number 4 and 2 are going to come. They're not going to come any higher than this point, because I don't want to lose that. That's what I don't want to lose. This is actually really important. A little bit of oil.
Every haircut?
Every 1 or 2. It's surprising how important that is. And a lot of people miss it out. I used to miss it out.
I think that's my, I don't oil my clippers enough.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people who go, oh, I've had these expensive brand, whatever it is, and they're moving clunky, they're snagging on hair, oil. It's always oil. So you're putting it through dry hair constantly, drying out all the oil, and you think you need to oil clippers once a month. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And think of it, it's a mechanical moving part. It
when you
needs
put it
oil.
like that, it actually makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. Cool, so the 4 comes in, and I'm not really flicking, I'm just slightly lifting. And can you see how that's just meeting? There's no bolt, there's no line being created here by me doing this. See how I'm just slightly flicking? I'm hardly even coming away from the head. See this?
It's taking like fractions off, isn't it?
Because I've built
that.
that. When I comb this down now, where's the line?
Exactly,
A lot of people then, they do that and they go, oh, I've got to like scissor over comb, I'm trying to save myself time at the end of the haircut at all times. I find the biggest time lost is when people are chasing something at the end. Like it's like they're spending 10 minutes refining a haircut. You shouldn't need to spend 10 minutes refining a haircut. Everything you've done beforehand should sort of like be refining as you go along in a sense. But look how close I get to the 4. See that?
Yeah.
I'm right underneath it.
Not at the bottom of it, isn't it, really?
Yeah, literally right at the bottom of it. And what line am I creating here? None.
Oh, no, yeah.
Because these two, again, I can't tell you why. It's maths. Half of 4 is 2,
Yeah.
and for some reason they meet.
Yeah.
I have no idea why. I can't. There's no logic to explain it. But a finger's width is like your general sort of guide. Always have a brush in hand. Anything below a 2, have a brush. Anything above a 2, comb.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to come right underneath this 0.5. This is where people start to like get nervous.
Yeah.
So like I've taught so many people, and they do this.
Yeah.
What are you doing there?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So my 0.25,
Literally, but yeah.
right underneath where I did the 0.5.
Well, okay.
Like that.
So you go quite high up then, obviously.
Yep.
To be fair, it's basically all of it.
Yeah. And then I go back to the 0.5, just run back over it to smoothen out the line.
Right.
0. Again.
Yeah. No.
People do this. They know their line's here, right? And they do this. They're not actually touching anything. 0. I'm not going as high as I was before, but I'm still going over. I'm going over that line. So I'm starting here, and I'm starting to flick as I actually hit the bottom line.
I think you see 5. Sorry, 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like little things, I'm using the corner of the blade in the corners of the head, which just
Yeah.
gives me a bit more detail. But this is the soft bit. You want to be quite gentle with this. You don't want to press too hard. Like this is what's going to work out that bottom line. Then once you've like sort of got it where you want it, the next step is hairspray.
Yeah.
That's it, perfect. Comb that down.
Try to clip it away first, yeah?
Yeah, definitely clip that hair out of the way first. That'll give you a... There you go, that's much better. You can already see your guide underneath, so make sure you pull out to that guide, lift it. So what I'd say is pull out to the guide, lift the comb up to check your guide. So
Yeah.
that's it.
And cut, yeah?
Yeah.
It's hard, this bit, isn't it? Get the initial...
Yeah. Well, one thing that you might want to like think about is so just like, you know, all of this hair here now is cut.
Yeah.
The only bit that's really relevant is the
guide.
last bit you cut.
Yeah.
So this can all come this way now, and you can clip that out of the way. So this clip here now moves to this point, and then now you've got the guide to follow.
Yeah.
And there's not, it kind of takes away the confusion. You know, when there's so much hair, you don't really know where you're at.
Yeah, exactly that.
If you always want to have your guide, don't pull to the guide, stop just before.
The guide and
yeah, and then, because you can then follow it easier.
That makes more sense.
If your guide is trapped in your fingers, you're never going to be able to cut to your exact guide.
Yeah.
I just had to add a quick voiceover to say, look how clean he's working here. And this is in the first session. I can already tell Eddie's going to go really far. You can already see how clean he's working. And once he goes away and practices these techniques, he's only going to get better. Yes, people. So we are just heading out on our lunch break. How are you finding the day, Eddie?
Mate, it's quality. Loving it. Learned quite a lot already and looking forward to this afternoon.
In the afternoon session, we're just going to do a little skin fade, recap, and then you'll head on your merry way. And it's not Ramsgate, it's Broadstairs, isn't it?
Yeah, we're the posher part.
The posher part, all right, sweet. Yeah, that's much better. It's the confidence that makes... Everything I've sort of covered today is there inside of the presentation I'm going to send you. But other than that, do you have any questions at all? Anything you want me to go back over?
No, mate, honestly,
No?
it's been quality. What I wanted to learn today, you've gone over
I appreciate you coming down as well. Obviously, like I was saying, this is the first time anyone's been here and had education, so it's good to know that you got a lot out of the day.
It's worth the drive, mate, trust me.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Sweet, man. Thank you. I appreciate it, bro.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, mate. You know how to do all that sort of stuff.
What, like edit and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to do YouTube as a kid. I stopped doing it because I lost my confidence. People have asked me like, why don't you do it anymore? I just don't have the confidence.
You're getting it back, mate. That's for sure.
Well, I'm trying. That's the main.
It seems like, mate, you've got it under control.
Nah, definitely, bro. I definitely don't have it under control.
I'm panicking.
I'm panicking. I'm gonna lose control. I think I'm done with like having a long beard. End of a long day at work. I left a little bit of my day in there because obviously I forgot to record an outro yesterday. If anyone's come over from my Instagram, you already know that I have a terrible habit of not completing videos or stories, or saying I'm going to do something and not following on. So I'm here to record an outro. Yesterday was absolutely insane. I want to say a massive thank you and congratulations to Eddie for coming down and learning and being such a good sport and making a lot of progress yesterday. It was really good to see. Thank you to him for giving me the opportunity. Why are you interrupting me? As I was saying, I want to thank him for the opportunity and thank him for choosing me to take him on that next little journey in his career, and hopefully he takes something away and takes it further and further, which I'm sure he will anyway. As for everyone who's still at this point, congratulations to you, because I wouldn't watch this long of me, that's for sure. I hope you've all enjoyed and got a bit of an insight as to what it is I do on an education day. If you're interested in education at all, please do get in contact, or either through Instagram, actually only really through Instagram. You can get at me either Jack_Gunner or Fund Hair Mentals, so it's fundamentals with hair in the middle. Get at me if you have any questions, any inquiries about barbering, education, stuff like that. And I will get back to you as soon as I can. But that being said, I hope you've all enjoyed this video. It's been weird for me to shoot another YouTube video because I haven't done it in so long, but after watching the edit that I've done up until this point, I'm really happy with this content. And if you guys want me to do more, like I said before, please do leave a comment, otherwise I'm not going to know to do more content. And leave a like because it helps push this out to new viewers. And subscribe if you want to see more of this ugly mug in future. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you either in the next one or in about 4 years again. Bless.